The Institute for Faith and Freedom at Grove City College presents Liberty Mail with the Student Fellows of Faith and Freedom.
Welcome to Liberty Mail, a podcast by the Institute for Faith and Freedom. I'm your host, John Hatzis, joined by my co-host, Madison Fossa. Maddie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, John. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We are here to introduce the newest season of Liberty Mail, and of course, we're going to start off by introducing us, your new hosts. So, Maddie, we will start with you. We'll ask the two most traditional questions, your name and your major and your year. I guess 3 questions. And then why you joined the Institute for Faith and Freedom.
Yeah, so I'm Maddie. I'm a biology major with a technical writing minor. I'm a junior at Grove City, and I joined IFF because all of my extracurriculars are super political.
Sure.
I love politics. I love thought in that realm, and I think that this is kind of, at Grove, one of the best examples of deep political thought and action.
Yeah.
So that was really exciting to me, and it's a great way to, outside of my major, be involved as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, and what specific organizations on campus are you part of that are political?
Yeah, so I'm president of Young Women for America.
Yeah, that's great.
And then obviously IFF, and I've been writing for Checkpoint News, which is a part of IFF since my freshman year.
Oh, that's great. What is the best or your favorite article that you've written for Checkpoint?
I think my favorite article was about IVF, and the reason it's my favorite is because I had one opinion, and I'm actually going to write a follow-up article this year about how I have changed my opinion on it, and so I think it's really cool to see growth in that way.
Wow, okay, give us a little bit of a spoiler or a teaser going from where to where on IFF, or IVF, I should say.
I think that at first I didn't look far enough into it. I thought of, some basic principles about it, life, more kids, etc. And then I actually looked way deeper into it this summer for my job, and I ended up coming up with a totally different opinion because I think that actually it's not as geared towards life as we think.
Oh, this is a good teaser for Checkpoint News to read Maddie Fossa's growth on this topic. Now, you mentioned your summer internship, the American Spectator.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I worked for them as an editorial intern every day, 9 to 5, sometimes longer, it just depended on the day and the story. But I would give them a pitch, and they have to approve it, just make sure that it actually is relevant to what's going on.
Sure.
Then I would spend all day writing it, researching, writing. If I could get interviews, I did. That was always exciting.
Yeah.
And then turn it in for vigorous editing at the end of the day. Very hard to get all those edits, and hard to take it at first, and then you learn that, it's a part of the writing process, part of growing. So it was a great experience, and I hope to keep writing with them in the future too.
What were the sort of people you got to interview?
I interviewed Pastor Jesse Johnson, who's a pastor in the D.C. area, which was really exciting. And then probably one of my most exciting articles was interviewing a gubernatorial candidate for my state, who was in the Republican primaries, and I got to go to his rally and interview him on the phone. Such a nice guy, so it was really cool.
So you're from New Jersey.
Yes.
So any premonitions about the governor's race in New Jersey right now? That's a big story.
Yeah. I mean, if it's New Jersey, so it's probably going to go blue. But I was sad that the nice man that I interviewed did not get the Republican nomination. But we'll see what plays out in the future,
Yeah, that's super exciting. All right, now your life's a lot more interesting than mine, but I know they want you to ask me some questions, so we'll let that go.
Yeah, so we know that you're John, but what's your major, your year, and some stuff that you do on campus?
Yeah, so I am an English major. I'm a junior as well. One of my favorite things to do on campus is that I do the podcast for Kogatari Magazine, a colloquium. For our audience, you can find that on podcasts and Spotify. But I love doing that podcast podcast, we do conversations with our writers who write different articles for Kokotari, our cultural magazine.
yeah.
So being able to read their articles thoroughly and be like, wow, that was amazing, and just be able to ask them questions, and they have to answer them because they're on the podcast. So it's a really wonderful time. Obviously, outside of IFF, I am also on the Collegian staff, the Collegian being the student newspaper here at Grove City College. I edit the opinion editorial page. The perspectives page is what we call it. And that's just a wonderful gift because we are able to explore so many different issues. We've got liberal writers writing for the perspectives page, conservative writers, but my favorite articles have nothing to do with politics. So even for this week's spread on homecoming, we've got an article about a student who's spending homecoming weekend in Oxford, talking about her study abroad experience, and she has this beautiful line about the same sun that shines down on Pennsylvania shines down on me at Oxford, England. So talking about God's sovereignty and love even across the ocean. His work is so grand. Another article on inner city outreach trips and the effect that has had not only on the article writers, the person that she was serving, but also on the writer herself, actually, how God has worked in her life through that. So I just love to see people talk about faith, culture, and society, and of course politics as well on the perspectives page.
That's incredible, and definitely the Collegian is another great way that even writers from IFF can get their messages out to the rest of campus. So that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Where are you in your major and what you want to do with that in the future, maybe?
I am getting a minor in classical Christian education, so I would definitely love to take my English that route. That was one of the big reasons why I joined IFF. Unlike you, I'm not a huge fan of current events and politics and stuff like that, but I'm a huge fan of education. And what does a lowercase l liberal education look like? Educating people in the classics while also being rooted in a deep faith, helping people through education strive for a personal relationship with the truth incarnate. So going that route would be amazing. There's a lot of professors here in the English department. I would say all of them do this, that combine a reverence for literature while also just a deep delight in literature. I think that it would be awfully utilitarian to be a person that says, well, education should only be job training. Well, your life doesn't end outside the 9 to 5.
Right.
And what English classes do, particularly at the secondary level, is give form to people's leisure. Especially now with the dominance of our technological age, it's very easy to, all the time that you don't spend doing work, you spend doing on a device.
Right.
And what literature does is invites you into a world, invites you into a reality where you can read instead, where you can read and have these sustained thoughts and delight in talking about literature with other people. And what English does is maybe compels you to do that for a class with the goal that you learn to fall in love with it and hopefully do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's been so cool. Obviously, we've known each other since freshman year, and being able to watch you go from in freshman year, you had so many interests, and we were all like, how is John gonna, figure out where he wants to focus, especially? And so it's been really cool to watch that. Can you tell us a little bit more about where you came from? Where you live, stuff like that? Yeah,
well, I come from Northern Virginia, Stafford County. Yeah, so I would say something that I've been thinking about a lot is the recent elections upcoming in Virginia. Actually, we both have odd gubernatorial election years.
The only two states.
The only two, and that's where we come from because something a major, October surprise or whatever you want to call it story just broke in that election where the attorney general candidate on the Democratic side, texts were released of his that were essentially calling on violence on one of his colleagues. And that really stung to read about that and see the lack of care among many people, that it just sort of seemed like what he did was bad, but we need to win, so we're sticking with him, and that did sting because it goes beyond well, I'm a conservative and so I don't like him because I disagree with him on policy issues. Like Todd Gilbert, the guy who Jay Jones, the Democratic candidate, said should be shot twice, right? Was a colleague of his, was someone that they actually personally talked to, and that really stung. That this is not like I hate Donald Trump or something, and you've never met Donald Trump, and nobody really knows what he's like. Only the people that actually know him personally. This is like a colleague,
right? And someone he knows, someone he's close with,
and so our language has become politics has become so big and such an idol for so many people that we actually dehumanize not just faraway people that we see on screens, but like our colleagues, people that we work with have even become dehumanized. So I love Stafford County and I love the state of Virginia, but that's been sad that guy, that man, that political candidate may very well win.
Right.
Even after comments.
And the
like
endorsements keep, they stay strong and they keep coming, and so it's definitely concerning. And I'm excited for us to be able to talk about on the podcast. I know we're hoping to interview a lot of people that come to campus.
Yes.
But also to be able to talk about these issues, current events, get other students' perspectives.
Yes.
So I think it'll be a really good experience.
Yeah. Well, Maddie, do you have anything else for us?
I don't.
I don't either. I think this was a good conversation.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
If you want to find anything else from the Institute for Faith and Freedom, go to faithandfreedom.com, and we will see you next time on Liberty Mail.
For more information on faith and freedom, visit faithandfreedom.com.